In the wide countryside of Montana, where golden fields stretched far beyond the horizon, lived a quiet farmer named Thomas. He was a hardworking man who spent most of his days caring for his land and animals. But among all the animals on the farm, there was one special companion, a beautiful brown horse named Storm. Storm was strong, intelligent, and incredibly loyal. Thomas had raised him since he was a young foal. Over the years, they had formed a deep bond. Every morning, Thomas and Storm rode across the open fields together. The wind moved through the tall grass, and Storm galloped freely, enjoying every moment. Thomas often smiled and said, "Storm, you're not just a horse, you're my best friend." For many years, life on the farm was peaceful. But one autumn evening, something terrible happened. Dark clouds gathered quickly, and a strong storm rolled across the countryside. Thunder shook the sky, and rain poured heavily onto the fields. Thomas was returning home on Storm when suddenly the ground beneath them gave way. The heavy rain had weakened the earth, and Thomas fell from the horse into a deep, muddy ditch near the road. He hit the ground hard and couldn't move. His leg was badly injured. Thomas tried to stand up, but the pain was too strong. The rain continued to fall, and night was slowly approaching. He looked at Storm and whispered weakly, "Go home, boy. Go get help." For a moment, Storm stood still, looking at his injured owner. Then the horse suddenly turned and ran. Storm galloped through the storm, through mud and rain, all the way back to the farm. When he arrived, he began to neigh loudly and run around the yard, acting strangely. Thomas's neighbor, an old rancher named Bill, noticed something was wrong. "Where's Thomas?" Bill said, worried. Storm kept running toward the road and looking back as if asking Bill to follow him. Bill quickly understood. He grabbed his truck and followed the horse through the muddy road. Storm ran ahead, guiding him through the storm. After several minutes, they reached the ditch where Thomas was lying injured and cold. Bill quickly helped him into the truck and rushed him to the hospital. The doctors later said something surprising. If Thomas had stayed in the cold rain much longer, he might not have survived the night. But Storm had saved him. Weeks later, when Thomas finally returned home, Storm was waiting in the pasture. The moment Storm saw him, the horse ran across the field. Thomas smiled despite the bandage on his leg. He gently placed his hand on Storm's neck and whispered, "You didn't just bring help, my friend. You saved my life." Storm softly nuzzled his shoulder. And from that day on, everyone in the valley knew the story of the horse who saved his owner. Because sometimes the most loyal heroes don't speak at all. They simply run through the storm to save the ones they love.